Hey, I'm live. What's up, skunk? The YouTube messed up on me, or I messed up, or whatever, but it wouldn't go live, so I had to make a link, and I see there's two or three of you guys in here, so we'll have us a real cordial time. A little driving and crying. Little Athens, Georgia music back in the day. Hey, I'm going to Athens Saturday for the South Carolina game. Taking a whole family. Meeting my former fraternity brother and roommate, and we're gonna have a large time. And all my kids can drive, so hey. But anyhow, turn this music off where I can concentrate. Anyhow, it's been a couple of weeks I've been on. Mainly the stock market. I didn't like the Labor Day, and then we got OPEX, and then we had CPI, and we basically have been in a what I think SPY's been in like a 14-point range for the last 3 weeks, and I've always told you guys that I like to go back and look at all time frames, and I went all the way back and looked at yearly charts, everything, and on my first tweet, we talked about my bipolar split personalities. What is what I mean by we? No, we got an inside year, we got a inside month, and we got a double inside week. Do y'all know what this means? It means we got an inside year, an inside month, and a double inside week. That's what it means. Remember, nothing has meaning except the meaning you attach to it. So there you go. Some wisdom. Um, you know, I think after we get through this week, we had rollover, holiday, da da da. The first 2 weeks of September have as it's always not August and the first couple weeks of September. Now we get into later September, and I really think that next week, I mean, it could happen the next couple of days of this week, but I hadn't looked at the rollover numbers. I'm not a rollover expert. Don't claim to be. I'm a stock expert, but not a futures rollover expert. That's not what I am. So I think that if you go back and look, the last week, next week, it's going to be. I mean, it's a coin toss, and I know I wish I could tell you exactly. I think that looking at the charts, you got more resistance to the upside than you do the downside. Now, it could break either way. I mean, the CPI numbers, I don't pay that. I don't. I mean, I pay attention to them, but everybody, it's kind of like we all know that the numbers are not. How can we say this? The numbers are not. They're not in everyday inflation numbers, and I'm not going to go through. My spill. Y'all know what the deal is. I mean, the truth of the matter is, if the Biden administration wouldn't have changed the economic numbers when they took office, man, we'd already be almost in the edge of a depression, not just a recession. But you don't fight the Fed, and what gets me is somebody, I forget, posted it to one of my tweets. Dadgummit. You know who I'm talking to. I think you live in Texas. Got a fence place. Plant. I think that's you. I don't know nobody's name, but I know your Twitter name. Posted, and something that I've been paying attention to. Nobody is paying attention to the revised numbers that the market just come out with. I mean, which is crazy, because if you look at the revised numbers, things are a lot worse than what the original numbers are. But we're not paying attention to the revised numbers. So does that mean we all ignore the revised numbers? I mean, no, of course not. You don't ignore these things. You don't fight the Fed. Companies are coming in and beating lower expectations, but some of these higher earnings, quote, higher earnings, also are inflation driven numbers. Now think about it. Sometimes the inflation can be good for a while, on stocks. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's driving the market, but you don't argue with it. If we talk about the averages, we're above the averages. Now we're back, we're right at the averages, but we rallied back above. Now we're back down below. Does the averages hold? Um, this is where you don't have to form an opinion, and that's what I always tell people. I mean, be an unbiased trader, which is sometimes harder to do because you go and you do all this research on fundamentals and this, that, and the other, but that does not necessarily mean that it's you form an opinion on something that you don't need an opinion on. You need to just a reaction point either way. So I'm fine whichever way this market breaks. I have not been trading much. I'm actually flat. What's up, B Wood? Hey man, what's happening? I see you. I have to look over there but what's up? You and Skunk Ape. Y'all ask questions and I can but anyhow, so that's what we're looking at for the market. You see I meant like if you look, and I'm just whether you want to talk about ES or NQ or what's up, Wes? What's up, Wes? Good to see you, brother. How are things in Arkansas? Didn't you have you was had issues with power or something recently, didn't you? I was thinking you did. So, um, yeah, and B-Wood, that's exactly what's going on right now. This is a very, very choppy environment. It's a tough environment, and that's one of the, there's capital preservation, and you've seen some of the other people that are, that have experience have tweeted or said the same thing. This is a time to preserve capital. I mean, there's some stocks that's really been moving good, but if you're a futures trader, I mean, it's been a very, very choppy range. And I was thinking back, back when I started trading, every there was no algorithms, there was no electronic trading, everything was done by phone. And every buy or sell actually had a live human being, that dropped the ticket, that bought it, and the market was so much easier to trade without you being trying to get, these. If you look at the wicks on these candles, man, they are just all over the board. I did trade some today, scout wise. I was trading in Cube, and man, there was some real violent moves today. You know, VIX is a broke instrument, B Wood. Yeah, that's what I've been doing, heavy. Yeah, Steve, predatory market. You're right, man. Matt, do we chop till the Fed next week? I mean, I'll tell you what my opinion is. I think that we're in an election year, or we're getting into an, we're within a year of an election, and you're already seeing it on Twitter. That's why they've already. I'm on like whatever they call it, probation on Twitter, where nobody hardly sees my tweets and stuff, and that's cool. But what's the Fed gonna say? I mean, are they gonna pivot? Are they gonna lower interest rates? I mean, the market right now. I'm gonna really say what's on my mind. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this shit. It's my YouTube channel. You can hang up. I think the market's boxed in. And what I mean by boxed in, here's some stats I was looking at. You got about 3 big firms, and I know you guys have seen this on Twitter or whatever, but you got BlackRock, Vanguard, and whatever. It doesn't matter what the other one. There's like 3 people that control every damn thing. So if you don't get these people into force them to sell, they're not going to sell. I went down the NDX, and the 100 stocks in the NDX, out of all 100 of them, 70 to 80% of all of those stocks are owned by institutions. So the individuals don't own crap. See, I cleaned up my language. I could have said shit right there, but I didn't. So, Jen God, my sugar mama, what's up? Hey, can you Venmo me some money? I need a little money for the weekend. Just hey, I'm just serious. No. The yeah, I'm broke insert too, and and so when I look at that, the market, you got like 70% of all the NQ stocks owned by institutions. Now, if all of these institutions go diving off to try to get some liquidity, yeah, we'll have some action. You know, I don't like this market. I don't like it. I don't like it from the standpoint of how long can we go with an inverted yield curve. I've been preaching this for what now a year now, year and a half. Um, yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it. I mean, you look, and I've been telling people, if you remember, like, whatever 6 8 months ago, if you looked across the board at the amount of treasury stock or shelf stock, I had somebody correct me because I had said shelf, or they didn't understand shelf or treasury, whatever. It's the same damn thing. They had trillions of dollars. I mean, and all of these IPOs, like, and I've mentioned them before, like Airbnb. And they got a tranche on Airbnb like at 160. And when Airbnb was down below 100, like 80, $85, I was like, there's no way in hell they're gonna get this thing back to 160. I think Airbnb is like $10 from it now. If I hadn't, I look. Let me look over here. I'm gonna tell you exactly. There's no sense of guessing. So at 144. So anyhow, they get a whole new slew of stock to sell if it gets to 160, and they're 15 points from it. I think that's going to be one of the keys, is to look and see when they get all this stock off the shelf. I mean, Wall Street's not going to leave money on the table. You know what I'm saying? If you got Goldman and I think it was Goldman, and it doesn't matter, Goldman and, hell, I want to say Bear Stearns, but Bear Stearns is not even around. Hey, quick side note. I was I was giving somebody a hard time today, a bond trader. Not really a hard time, but he was talking about he worked on the best bond desk or whatever. But do you realize that when Long Term Capital, when they folded, Bear Stearns was Long Term Capital's clearing firm, and Bear Stearns went into the meeting with the Federal Reserve, and all the Wall Street firms went in there, and Bear Stearns held the card to save everybody's ass. Everybody. Okay, Bear Stearns saved everybody's ass on Long Term Capital. And you know what those crooked fucks did? They put Bear Stearns out of business in 2008, 2009. The same damn firm that saved every one of them's ass. And they backed them into a corner, and they plunged their ass. That's the crooked bastards we dealing with. So I'm just going to speak it like it is. That's what it is. They're a bunch of damn crooks, and that's what Goldman Sachs put Bear Stearns and Lehman, quote, one of the best bond desks out there. Every damn major stock market crisis was caused by some screwball bond traders. Yeah, I'm talking to you. So anyhow, don't ever tell me some shit about you work for the best bond trading firm. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna be nice now. Welcome to Uncle Pack's Feel Good Hour. So anyhow, that was my Bear Stearns story, and I lost some money because I had some money at Bear Stearns. Another story for another time. So I'll have to tell you, I thought about something I hadn't told you guys. I have never tweeted about this, but I just thought about it. I was like, I should tell these people this story. So here's a little story. It's back in the mid to late 90s. I started a hedge fund. I had 3 clients. 3. And all 3 of them were Colombians. They were coffee farmers. At least that's what they told me. They told me they had their houses insulated with $100 bills in their attic, walls, everything. That's what they said. Anyhow, that's another story. But anyhow, ARM IPO tomorrow. What is that? Yes, it is, Jim. When that's well, see, it's gonna they got to uninvert it at some point. I mean, why would you go buy something at a longer date that pays you less. Nobody's going to do that. So, you know, the pivot, if you go back and look at 2000 when they pivoted, if you go look at the chart of 2000 when they pivoted is when the next leg down came. Now, I'm not saying the next leg down is going to come when they pivot. So if somebody asked me about what about the Fed meeting next week, if they come out and say they're about to pivot, I think that's when we roll over and go down. That's what I think. Because see, the Feds are going to overshoot, and I think I don't know whether they've overshot on inflation or not, because I don't know where you live, but where I live, things have not come down. But see, the things that we buy on a normal basis are not part of the, I like to call it the cayenne pepper index, because that's all on the damn thing, So, Jen, appreciate knowing that. I don't even know what you're talking about, but I'm glad that I taught you that. What were we talking about? I'm ADD, right? So, but anyhow, if you go out and look at if you look at the triggers on the inside year, the inside month, and the double inside week. So you got 3 triggers that's, you're going to have the week, the month, the year, and all of those line up. Now you're talking boom, 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 boom. And that's what you need to pay attention to. Now, it doesn't matter. It does not matter to us whether these triggers go to the upside or to the downside. It makes, unless you're long or short, it matters to you. But I'm neither. I'm just trading. I'm a day trader mainly. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. There's some stocks that have been, whipping around all over the place. What I'm trying to think about, I traded Carvana a couple of times. Did y'all see? I posted the Tesla chart. I think at the beginning of the week, somewhere like that. Where Tesla had like a double inside day, or inside week. No, it was week, double inside week. And when it busted out, I think Monday, it was up like 22 points. That's what we're looking here at the market. See, this is where you got to sit on your hands and wait for this stuff. You can't see my hand moving. Wait for this stuff to move up or down. If we move up, and I've talked to some people that are smarter than me. Yeah, I know that's hard for you guys to believe. If we go to the upside, we're going to have like a Venezuelan type stock market, and nothing could be worse for longevity of our, hell, let's just say our society. I mean, like, I'm so I don't know. I mean, I'm trying not to be so vulgar, but it's just absolutely asinine at the stuff that's going on in this country. I mean, I don't like talking politics because it doesn't really matter, because I think every one of them up there is a bunch of, it's like they're all on the same side now. There's no Republicans, there's no Democrats. As long as you keep everybody divided, we won't get shit accomplished, and we'll steal everything blind. So, let's send some more money to Ukraine. So there, I did get into a little bit of politics, but it's, somebody, and it's not going to happen. I should run for president probably, but trust me, I wouldn't make it past the county elections. Talking about some skeletons. Oh, well, I'd be like a 6 series episode of Oprah. Did you do this? Yes, Your Honor, I did. I'm guilty as charged. So, but anyhow, so getting back to where we're at trading. This is a golden setup. Okay, so don't screw this up. Man, actually, one of the best. Well, I had several just smoking shorts in 2022. one of those, now it wasn't it was not the overall market, it was the individual stocks, and I tell you a stock that did it, and you can go back and retrace and look at it. EMPH, the solar stock, man, that thing dropped like a damn rock. Carvana did it. Shopify did it. There were 4 or 5 stocks that lined up, and if I remember correctly, EMPH, and it may have been a little bit shorter, maybe it wasn't a year, but it was the, like the monthly, the weekly, the quarterly, or something like that. But they had like 3 or 4 triggers in EMPH, and it like dropped like in one day like 40 or 50, 60 points. It was asinine. So yeah, it does. I'm trying to slide my fuzzy Crocs back on my feet. And if you don't have a pair of fuzzy Crocs, you should buy some. They're not that damn expensive. So, and I'm like, I'm at the age where now I wear Crocs and blue socks to Dollar General. Okay, I'm married with a minivan. Well, I used to be. We got rid of the minivan finally and got a Suburban. Piece of shit. Yeah, go spend $100,000 on a Suburban, and they'll give you plastic doors that tear up on the inside. No, I'm no junk. I'm gonna do a live YouTube from my damn door, my Suburban. Piece of junk. My '95 Jeep is much better than that friggin' Suburban. Hey Wes, I've got like fuzzy Crocs, I got like dress Crocs, I got like hunting Crocs, I got like Crocs. I mean, I got Crocs all over the place. I kid you not. I bet you own 5 pair of Crocs. So I have 2 pair of fuzzy Crocs because I was worried about my one pair wearing out. So you don't want to be on that damn fence where you don't have any. So you got to have 2 pair. So, but I have a wife that gets all these great deals. She has shit that pops up on her computer, and she gets a great deal on stuff. So she saves us a lot of money. Sequoia is the best. Those like Crocs, B-Wood? Cause I don't know. I just wear what I'm given, man. I don't get to buy clothes or anything like that, man. I get dressed like the kids, you know. Here, you put this on. So not really. So anyhow, 220,000 miles. I think mine's got 197,000 something like that. And I was gonna buy. I was like gonna see. Here's my problem, man. I got a son that's about to be 17, and I got twin girls that are about to be 16, and all 3 of them want a damn car. And you know how I got my first car, but they don't want to hear this because times have changed. I detasseled corn. Y'all know what detasseling corn entails? Corn had the tassel on the top of it. I rode in a bucket in between the corn rows, pulling out each tassel by hand in the Georgia heat all summer long because they made hybrid. This was how they made hybrid seed. They had to pollinate it. So it was like 7 rows of male corn and 2 rows of female or something like that. So it was basically, if you didn't know this, corn, the female corn gets like gangbanged on that. It's there's some corn facts you didn't know. See the shit I'm teach you guys. Damn, y'all got to learn stuff. I was looking. I'm a status. I hated statistics in college, but now I'm a statistician. Um, the last 14 years, we've had 11 up years and 3 down years. 11 and 3. Yeah, I was thinking, 11 and 3, you'll win the NFC South with an 11 and 3 record. I mean, you would. Hey, and the Falcons are undefeated. The Falcons, baby, we're back. The Falcons leading 28-3 in the damn third quarter Super Bowl and lost. We was already celebrating at my damn house. So anyhow, Renner, what's up? Go Falcons, yeah, go Falcons. I mean, I root for the Falcons, but man, that's like rooting for a root canal. The Falcons. Hey, but hey, we beat Carolina. So, but anyhow, hey, I'm going to the. I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna send y'all some pictures, man. We're gonna have a Saturday, man. Y'all should be there. It is gonna be a blast. Yeah, wasn't it, B Wood? It was terrible. When I tell you, man, we were doing the Super Bowl shuffle and stuff in my house. 28-3 in the third. Yeah. And nope, I don't think so. Just a kid. But luckily, my my college team is doing good. So it's I tell people I made a tweet. I was fortunate enough when I was a boy, my uncle, who was a lot younger than my daddy, was at the University of Georgia when I was a boy. So my grandparents and my dad, we all went up there to Georgia games. So I started going to Georgia games when I was a small boy. I mean, like barely remember some of the stuff. I was so young. Uh, so you think about all the players that played at Georgia or played against Georgia. I've seen, all of the Heisman winners. I mean, it's been incredible, and I went through some real suck ass years too, man. And when I lived in Athens, we didn't beat no damn body. I was there in the '90s. Tennessee beat us 7 straight years. Florida beat us like 19 out of 20 years, and Auburn. I mean, like we were 4-7 one year. It was horrible, 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 horrible experience. So that's why I'm not showing any mercy on you bastards because y'all didn't give me any. You get what you get. You know what I'm saying? You dish it out, you got to take it. So, but anyhow, uh, how long have I been talking? I got 4 minutes. 4 minutes. What y'all want to talk about for 4 minutes? I mean, really and truly, I'm sitting here watching the triggers. I'm telling you, the on the year, the month, all that stuff. Look at the wicks, tops and bottoms. That's going to be your trigger points. Thoughts on the VIX, man? If the market craters, the VIX is going to have a tremendous spike. I mean, it always does. But you got to also understand, how many times has the VIX reverse split? I know that UVXY, whatever, the inverse or whatever, I know it's split, reverse split, like 5-1, 10-1, some crap like that. When we came into the year, we had a record short in bonds, and we had I think was it a record short? No, it wasn't a record short in VIX. It was a record long in VIX and a record short in bonds. And the bonds, the short and the bonds paid off. The VIX, have you ever gone? If you want to really go look at the formula for VIX, I mean, when I talk about like these big firms that control everything, they've got the derivatives market down to a science. And so, there are a lot smarter people than me on the VIX because it's a hedging device. But here's the thing about like hedging and arbitrage. None of it. See, that's what you going back. I talked about long-term capital earlier. That's what happened with long-term capital. See, they made the bet with derivatives and borrowed money that the bond market is always supposed to come back to par, right? At the end. Well, see, that's how long-term capital became the crisis that it was, because sometimes it doesn't. Because see, there's always going to see it goes back to, and I've talked about, and some of y'all may have read the book, and I've talked about the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. The Federal Reserve is a private entity, right? Y'all know that, right? It's not part of the government. And the main branch of the Federal Reserve is located where? Did you say Wall Street? Yeah, right there at the corner of Wall Street. And you got the Federal Reserve, and then you walk down the street just a little bit, and you got J.P. Morgan. Well, Goldman Sachs, I think, moved more uptown. Well, they were on the Trade Center. I don't know where they're at now. I hadn't been up there much. I used to love going to New York, but once kids come along, you quit doing stuff like that because I mainly went up there just to party, you know. So, and some good parties, by the way. Anybody by chance from New York is the Gotham City Bar and Grill. Is it still open? The Manhattan Gentlemen's Club, that's still open? I'm just curious. But anyhow, I mean, my thing, I mean, like, if we get into a really downdraft, the VIX will rip. That's my take on the VIX. If the market shoots higher out of this formation, the VIX is going to go lower. I know a lot of people, there's some outrageous bets on the VIX. I don't know if you look at, go out, I mean, I'm talking about like people going like way, like VIX at 50, 100. I don't know if they're going to, will the market, put it this way, if this was when I first started this business, if this was the free market, this market would be a heck of a lot lower. We're ignoring everything, which is bizarre. It's not bizarre. It's just the way of the world. It's the way of the times that we're in right now. It's when I look at it stuff, I mean, and I know I sound like an old person. I mean, it's hard to fathom the I don't know what the right word is, but think about companies that have plenty of cash, like a NVIDIA, and they keep issuing stock and keep announcing buybacks. I mean, but they'll bust some guy like that Morris kid and the other dude that had that penny stock crap. Now, I'm not saying what they did wasn't wrong. It was a pump and dump, but you know what? The big guys, that's what they're doing here. I mean, there's rumor. You remember I've been saying that there's going to be a company that blows your mind that you find out it's going to be a complete friggin' accounting fraud. And have y'all been seeing the whispers about NVIDIA? I mean, I don't know whether they're true or not, but most of the time when you start hearing stuff like they're true. Whether they come to fruition, because it takes they're going to get all this stock sold, and then they'll get short, and then they'll announce this. That's just the way it works, just like they were beating the drum, I'm talking about beating. If you were around for WorldCom, remember how in Enron, they were beating the damn table. Yeah, Steve, I was watching the Russell today. I was actually looking at that myself. The Russell was weak. I don't know where it finished, and the transportation is kind of funny that the NASDAQ transportations were down 52, and the Dow Jones transportation was up 25. So, not the transports look very, very weak. The Russell looks very, very weak. So, yeah, I was watching the Russell today, and I was just mainly talking about the SPYs and NDX, but not going all over the map. But the Russell and the transports is what led us the whole bull market. And so, yeah, I would keep my eye definitely on the Russell. I mean, it's definitely something that can lead us lower. I'm not. I mean, here's the thing. The things that I know, I mean, the market should be lower, but I can't make my bias to the downside, even though I want to. This is where my thinking can get me in trouble, because you know what? I don't want to argue if we break to the upside. Whether I like it breaking to the upside, I mean, breaking to the downside makes more sense, but the CPI numbers, they don't give a rat's ass. Earnings are a little bit better. Yeah, Steve, the TLT, yeah, that's something I should have brought up too, man. We were real close last week on the bond market of breaking the October lows, and see, this is what makes me think that you got to be careful here on the short side because we've retraced that whole, the bond market got down like TLT got down. I don't remember the exact price. I'm gonna say in the low 90s, and we were like within a point of breaking the October lows on the 20-year, and we, did the old leprechaun trick, and we rallied, and now we'll see if which is actually better for the bears that we did rally right there because now you just move off of it a little bit and have more power to come down. We were getting into exhaustion. You can't be in an exhaustion stage and break down unless you're going to have a true crash. And I just don't believe at this point in time they're going to let the bond market crash. And so, but the bond market dictates rates and not the Fed. And the bond market's telling us that it wants higher interest rates. So I meant like I said, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago that I really thought, well, I still think that in the next couple of 2 or 3 weeks, there's going to be an event that uninverts this yield curve. I could be totally wrong. I'm not positioned either way. Um, I hadn't had a sip. Yeah. Now I can talk forever. So yeah, I mean, you look at the bonds, the Russell. Y'all are watching the right things. Um, It's scary, man. I mean, this is even that we might rally. I mean, we might. But I'm just saying that, man, we are close. We're in a dangerous position here. And if y'all take that time and go look at the weekly charts of like the SPY. I'm talking about perfect, like here, here, and here. I'm talking about dead slap in the middle of each candle. I'm talking about dead across, and I mean, that is manipulated, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. You just got to trade what's in front of us. And, we're against machines, computers, and that kind of stuff. And so that's why you can't put too much thinking in until you just react. And that's why you've seen these long wicks is to shake your ass out of trades. That's why you scale in and you scale out. And that's my thinking and thoughts. But yeah, I mean, we got to watch the bond market as closely as possible. The Russell's close to breaking down. I really think that when we do, there's a lot more a logarithmic resistance to the upside than there's a lot of gaps to the downside. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens here. But I will say this: be on your toes and watch these breaks because whether it happens tomorrow, the next day, next week, or the week after, okay, the time frame here, is where you got to be ready to pounce when it happens. And be careful because they'll break and come back up into the candle. So nothing's a guarantee, you know that. So all right, guys, it's been about 40 minutes, and I've been trying to keep these things shorter, 30, whatever. I appreciate you guys speaking up, and thank you, Steve B. Wood, the Rev, Wes, Matt, Jen. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight, and we will see y'all next time. I'll try to be on more than a couple of weeks, but I haven't been doing much, so I just hadn't been doing a whole lot. So anyhow, Matt, appreciate you, brother. Skunk Ape, you the man. Thank you. Cheers, salut, and say go dogs Saturday. You see me on TV. I'm gonna run across the field with my shirt off. Not really. Hey, y'all, peace out.